If you're here, something in this song caught you. Let me tell you what caught me. It's Soraya, this is Between the Lines, and today we're sitting with Love Yourself First. The first time I sang it through, I recognized somebody. The woman who keeps pouring and never once stops to check whether her own cup is empty. A lot of us know her. This song is not about pushing love away. It's about arriving whole, so the love that finds you gets your best and not what's left over. Real love never asks you to shrink. So let's get into it. Love yourself first.
Look at her face. She is not reading anything on that screen. She is measuring her whole life against one picture of a woman she has probably never even met. And I know that look. You start scrolling, and everybody's kitchen is cleaner, everybody's man is sweeter, everybody's skin is glowing, everybody's weekend looks like a movie, and yours feels like it is falling behind. Not because anything actually changed in your life, just because you looked. But you are watching her highlight reel while you are living your behind the scenes. Nobody wins that comparison because it was never a fair fight to begin with. She had a whole camera roll to choose from. You are standing in your kitchen at 10 at night with your hair wrapped, comparing that to the one picture out of 80 that she liked enough to post. And notice when you do it, it is never when you are happy. It is always late, it is always quiet, it is always when you were already low before you ever picked up that phone. So I want to say this next part gently, because that woman on the screen is not your enemy. She might be lonely. She might be posting to convince herself of something. Half the time, the loudest highlight reel belongs to the person who needs it most. Grace goes both ways, sis. Social media is lighting and angles and smoke and mirrors, and we keep shrinking ourselves to fit inside somebody else's illusion. You were already enough before you ever opened that app. Nothing you saw today took that away from you. So unfollow the accounts that make you feel behind. Follow the ones that make you feel capable. Then put it down, look up, and love yourself first.
Love yourself first.
Notice that this song does not start with a story. Most songs make you wait. They give you a verse, they set a scene, they walk you through what happened, and then somewhere around the 40-second mark, they finally tell you the point. This one gives you the point first. Love yourself first, know what you're worth. That is the whole message, delivered before you know a single thing about her. And that is on purpose. Because a woman who needs to hear this might not make it to the second verse. She might only get 15 seconds in the car before she pulls into work. So the answer goes at the front, where she cannot miss it. Then listen to what the repetition is doing. First. Worth. That is not filler. That is a woman saying something out loud until she believes it. And it is written so you can say it back before you have even learned the rest of the song. And the very first thing it addresses is permission. Don't need nobody giving you permission, because permission is exactly what gets taken from us. Quietly, a little at a time, until we are waiting on somebody else to tell us we are allowed. Then it closes with the line, I want you to sit with. Give a little more to the girl you are. Not the girl you were, not the woman you are working toward once you lose the weight, once the money comes, once you finally get it together. The girl you are, present tense. Standing right there in the mirror this morning, tired, unfinished, still figuring it out. because that is the one we skip. We will pour into who we used to be with all that regret, and we will pour into who we plan to become with all that pressure. And the woman actually living this day gets whatever is left, which is usually nothing. So the song does not ask you to fix her first. It does not say earn it. It says give a little more to her right now as she is. That is a much harder instruction than it sounds like, and it is the reason everything after this hook works. So let me ask you something. What would that actually look like for you today? Not next month, not when things calm down, today. Tell me in the comments, because I want to know what giving a little more to the girl you are looks like when it is real.
Look at me now, no more waiting for somebody to tell me how. No more shrinking just to fit their frame. I know my value, I know my name. Used to bend till I almost broke. Smile through things I should've never let go. Gave too much just to keep them there. Now I choose me, crystal clear. Heels no way. These looking good on me. No more chasing what won't choose me. If you want this high, come correctly. Can love you without losing me. That's the kind of love that I wanna see. Before I ever put somebody first, I learned how.
She opens at a mirror, and I need you to catch what that is. Mirror, mirror. That is the fairy tale. Except in the fairy tale, you ask the mirror who is the fairest of them all, because you need the mirror to decide. She does not ask it anything. She says, look at me now. She is not requesting a verdict. She is delivering one. Then comes the part that hurts. And notice she puts it all in past tense. Used to bend till I almost broke. Smiled through things I should have never let go. Gave too much just to keep them near. Every woman listening knows which situation that was. And she is not calling anybody out by name. She is not naming what he did. She is just telling you what it cost her. Because the point of this verse is not him. The point is what she gave away. Then the whole song turns on 4 words. Now I choose me. Watch the tense change right there. Everything before that line is used to, gave, smiled. Everything after it is present. Now. She is not describing something she is hoping to do. She is describing a decision she already made. And listen to what comes next, because it is a sound before it is a sentence. Click, click, heels when I walk away. That is not a slam. There is no yelling in this verse. Just heels on the floor, getting further away. And that is a much louder sound than an argument. Then she says, peace looking good on me every day. And I love that she wrote it like that. Not peace feels good, peace looks good. She is treating it like something she put on this morning, like an accessory, like jewelry. And that is exactly how it works, because peace is visible. You can see it on a woman. It is in her shoulders. It is in how fast she answers her phone. It is in what she stopped explaining to people. Somebody who has not seen you in 6 months can tell. They cannot tell you what changed, but they know something did. We have all had a friend show up looking rested and nobody could figure out why until she said what she left behind. That is what she is describing here. Peace as a look. Peace as the finest thing she owns. Now here is the line I want to protect, because this is where people get this song wrong. I can love you without losing me. She did not say, I do not need love. She did not say, men are the problem. She said, come correctly, which is an invitation, not a dismissal. She is still opening the door. She is just no longer leaving it open at her own expense. And that is why the verse ends the way it does. Before I ever put somebody first, I learned how to love myself first. Not instead of, before. There is a difference, and the whole rest of the record depends on you hearing it.
Love yourself first, first, first. Know what you're worth. Don't need nobody giving you permission. Baby, you're already the whole vision. Love yourself first. Where it deserves before you give somebody up your love. Give a little more to the girl you are.
You will notice I change what I am wearing in the middle of my videos. And that is not random. I do that on purpose, and this hook is the reason. Baby, you're already the whole vision. The whole vision, not part of it. So when I get dressed, I am not picking one version of myself to show you. This white one, tailored, sharp at the shoulder, That is the version of me that knows exactly what she will not accept. That is a suit before it is a dress. I put that on when I am talking about standards, when I am talking about the door I closed, when I need you to hear that softness and weakness are two different words. Then I change into the pink. Chiffon, soft, moving when I move. And some people expect that to mean I backed down off of something. I did not. That is the part of me I refuse to trade in order to be taken seriously. Because that is where women get talked out of themselves. They tell you that if you have standards, you have to be hard about it, that if you want to be respected, you have to put the softness away, keep it professional, keep it guarded, and never let anybody see the woman who still believes in love. So you put the blazer on and you never take it off. I take it off and I put it back on when I need it. I am both. I am the woman who will walk out of a room without raising her voice. And I am the woman in the pink dress who still thinks love is worth all of this. Neither one of those is a costume. Neither one of those cancels the other one out. So when the hook says, you're already the whole vision, that is what I am showing you, not telling you. Wear all of her. The soft part and the strong part. Same day, same woman.
No energy. I don't need your love to complete me. I can want you. I don't need you. Big difference when you finally see through. Red leg looking pretty in pink. No sweet words, you're not telling me what to think. It calls my feet back. I can't think. I am big. Food on the table, bye me. Dinner reservation, table for me. I can make my own heart feel adored. I don't wait around anymore. And when real love finally comes my way, it won't make me smaller just so it can say you can love me. But here's how it works. I'm never gonna stop loving myself.
Verse 1 was the exit. Verse 2 is what happens after the door closes, when the phone stops ringing and nobody is watching to see how you handle it. She opens with new rules, new mood, new energy, and then she says the line the whole verse is built on. I can want you, I don't need you. Sit with that, because those are two completely different positions, and most of us have never been taught the difference. Need means he has leverage. Need means every time he pulls back, you fold, because you cannot afford to lose him. Want means you are choosing him on purpose, freely, and you could stop choosing him tomorrow. And here is the part women miss. Want is the better love. Nobody wants to be needed like a bill that has to get paid. Being wanted by a woman who does not need you is the highest compliment a man can get. Then she does something clever, and I laughed the first time I caught it. No red flags looking pretty in pink. Now, you just watched me talk about my pink dress, so let me be clear about the difference. Pink on me is softness I chose. Pink on a red flag is a paint job. That is the same warning it always was. Somebody just made it prettier so you would stay a little longer. The color changed, the flag did not. Then she names the price. If it costs my peace, that price too high. That is a woman doing math out loud, and she is willing to walk away from something she genuinely wanted because the number did not work. And then comes my favorite part of the whole song, because it is the smallest. Flowers on the table, bought by me. Dinner reservations, table for me. She did not stop wanting flowers. She did not stop wanting to be taken out. She just stopped waiting on somebody to decide she deserved it. She went and did it herself, and she did not apologize for it. The verse closes with the thing that ties it back to everything. And when real love finally comes my way, it won't make me smaller just so it can stay. She is still expecting it. She is still open. She is just not shrinking to hold on to it.
Love yourself first. Know what you're worth. Don't need nobody giving you permission. Baby, you're already the whole vision. Love yourself first. Where it deserves before you give somebody up your love. Give a little more to the girl you are.
Earlier, we talked about looking up, looking at that phone, looking at somebody's highlight reel, deciding everybody is doing better than you. Now I want to talk about looking across, because while you are staring at that screen convinced your life is the hard one, there is a woman 2 desks over from you at work who has not told anybody what is happening in her house. There is somebody at your church smiling on the second row who cried the entire drive there. There's a woman in your family group chat sending the laughing emoji with her lights about to get cut off. We do not know. We hardly ever know. People carry things quietly, especially the women in our community, because a lot of us were raised to believe that falling apart in front of people is a luxury we cannot afford. So here is what I want you to hear, and I want to say it carefully, because I am not telling you your problems are small. They are not. Your struggle is real and it deserves real attention. That is not what this is. This is me telling you that you do not have to be okay in order to be useful to somebody. You can be having the worst month of your year and still be the reason somebody made it through their Tuesday. You can be low on everything you have and still have exactly what somebody else is out of. A ride, a hot plate, a text at the right time, $20. Just sitting with somebody and not asking her to explain herself. And I am not saying pour yourself out until there is nothing left, because that is the exact thing this whole song is warning you about. I am saying pay attention. Attention is free. Attention does not cost you the peace you just fought for. That is exactly what you just watched happen in the bathroom. She walks in already carrying her own weight. She had been on that phone measuring herself against somebody else all day. And she still noticed the woman crying at the sink. She did not need to be fixed first. She did not need her own situation resolved before she could look up and see somebody. Watch what she actually does, because it is small. She does not ask what happened. She does not give advice. She is just kind. She stays. She makes it clear that woman is not by herself in that room for one more minute. And that is the whole thing. She did not have anything extra to give. She gave attention, and attention was enough. Because there is something that happens when you stop measuring yourself against people and start actually seeing them. Your own situation stops feeling so much like a verdict on you. You remember that everybody is carrying something you cannot see, which means nobody is winning the way that phone made it look. And somewhere in the middle of being a blessing to somebody who needed one, you find out you were never as empty as you thought you were.
What you won't do. No more begging, no more maybe. Look in the mirror, say that's my baby. Love me, I love me too. That's the energy I'm bringing through. Soft heart, strong, on high standards. I don't need nobody else for the answers. If you love me in my best. I won't lose myself for nothing less. Say it one more time so the whole world learns. Love yourself, love yourself, love yourself first.
Listen to how this song ends, because it does not end the way you would expect. There is no villain in this outro. Nobody gets dragged. She never goes back to whoever she left in the first verse. She does not name him, does not tell you what he did, does not spend one bar on revenge. He is just gone, and she never looked back long enough to give him a verse. Instead, she does this. Hands up if you finally chose you. Hands up if you know what you won't do. That is call and response. That is church. That is the moment in the show where it stops being one woman on a stage and becomes a room full of women who all know exactly what she means. She is not performing at you anymore. She is counting how many of us are in here. Then she says the line that everything I do is built on. You don't have to hurt to make love work. That is the whole thing right there, because we have been sold something different. We have been taught that if it is not painful, it is not real, that the drama is proof of the passion, that the fighting means somebody cares. That is a lie, and it has cost us years, and it has cost some of us more than that. And then she turns to a mirror one more time and says, that's my baby. Same mirror from the first verse. She started this song asking that mirror to look at her, and she ends it calling that reflection something tender. That is not the same woman. That is what the whole record was for. Soft heart, strong mind, high standards. 6 words. And that is a complete woman. Now, let me tell you why my videos look the way they look. Because people ask me. I put you in rooms full of light and flowers and mirrors and soft colors on purpose. Not because life is soft. Life is not soft. But you can find a woman being torn down in 10 seconds on any app you open. You do not need me for that. There is a whole industry built on showing us at our worst and calling it real. So I am doing the other thing. I am showing you a Black woman standing in the middle of her own beautiful life, at peace, well dressed, well lit, treated tenderly by the camera. Because you cannot become something you never see. And I am not going to build my career on our pain, not on the fighting, not on the messiness, not on the drama that gets clicks. That is somebody else's lane. I would rather show you what it looks like on the other side of choosing yourself. And let that be the thing you cannot stop thinking about.
Before you go, mark this down. My album, The Majesty of Love, drops September 18th. This one is about what real love looks like once you already know your worth, and I cannot wait for you to hear it. Now tell me in the comments what loving yourself first actually looks like for you. Not the pretty version, the real one. I read them, and somebody in there needs to hear yours today. And this is the first one of these I have ever done, going through a song piece by piece, telling you what is underneath it. If you want more, subscribe, because I have a lot more to say. Until then, do me one favor. Go be good to the woman you are today. Not the one you used to be, not the one you are working on. Her. Love yourself first. I will see you soon.